All right, my air signs, it's time for your monthly horoscopes for August. What are some themes and obstacles you can look out for? What are some things or messages from ancestors? Especially this month, we have our new moon in Ashleisha Nakshatra with our sun around the same time, August 8th. If you follow sidereal or Vedic placements, that's what I follow. So we'll have that in Ashleisha Nakshatra again. And this deals with our karmic ties, our family, and even about esoteric knowledge and wisdom. And it can relate to the Kundalini serpent and the awakening of our energy centers or chakras throughout our body and becoming, ultimately aligned with our highest spiritual beliefs or whatever we may believe in as our highest point of enlightenment. So I'm just shuffling a couple different decks here so we can have some different messages going out. I already had a card pop out from the Moonology. Let's have a look at that. All right, we have K2 or the South Node. Don't let the past hold you back. So right away, that's telling me a lot of y'all are feeling the strong ties. A lot of my first air sign Gemini, y'all are feeling the strong ties to the past. You are feeling the strong ties to karma and your past life, maybe even your own personal past life. When we see K2, it deals a little bit more, again, maybe depending on where you have it in your houses and stuff in your birth chart. But with K2 or the South Node, we do see it more tied to your specific past life and what you did in your karma, or what you did to build up your karma in this life. But it's also about understanding that through the past, right, we have the chance to make amends. Through learning lessons of the past, we have the chance to change things up into what we want. All right, so, and then I'll do the self-care deck last. Let's see what else we got going on here. Our prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus, new moon overall, a new start is coming. So you guys really are feeling some new energy. You guys are really ready to restart and let the past go. You're really ready to move forward. But with the rain reverse, it's telling me somebody or something is holding on to a lot of unnecessary emotions tied to the past. And this could mean, with the rain, it just basically means it needs to be let out. And with the rain reverse tells me it can be a more cathartic kind of in the moment, super emotional breakdown type situation. Whereas upright, it's kind of maybe a more softer, gentle, we're crying alone under our sheets, kind of dealing with it. Or maybe crying in front of somebody you really trust. But when it's this side, it's really telling me that you're kind of letting the emotions feed into you more than releasing them. And then it can come out in one big burst. So do be cautious of that. Be cautious if you're not letting yourself release. Be cautious if you're not letting yourself let go of anything that is no longer serving you. Especially on the financial aspects of things. And then perhaps we're seeing something with the health, maybe female reproductive organs or somebody in your life that deals with some type of health issues around that area. We also have the rat here, which is telling me you're really good at problem solving. You're really good at thinking your way through these situations, which for Gemini, I would say having ear and having the rat makes total, complete sense. So you guys are, connecting with your energy. We do have Mercury also falling into Leo during this time, which can be a good placement for some, can be very beneficial for some gems, as it gives you the power to be really expressive about what you truly feel, and gives you just creative power, as Leo tends to be one of our more creative signs. But yeah, like I said, I see a lot coming up for you guys in terms of maybe this new moon when we have it in Ashleisha Nakshatra. I don't necessarily think it's a lot of influence over you or your ancestors right now are calling for you to do a lot, but there's something about maybe cooperation. Maybe you're afraid to work with somebody or you rely a lot on other people. It could be one or the other. That's kind of what the sense I'm getting. And then we have from the Sacred Self-Care, we have Connect with Water, which is telling me connect with that water element. Right now, we're still transiting through Cancer. Like I said, we'll have our new moon in Cancer. We'll have our sun in Cancer at the same time if we're following our sidereal placements. So it can be a good time maybe for you guys to connect to any deities that you worship that connect to water, maybe connecting with them, connecting to any deities or beings that connect with the womb and the female reproductive organs. There's something about, I want to say, taking time to not, I guess, incubate in a sense, and create something inside and then bringing it out. And as a Gemini, especially again with Mercury falling in Leo, that's a big thing for you guys to be able to cultivate and create internally and then be able to let it out into the physical material world. So I think that's what's going on. If you guys are preparing for something, maybe a big creative endeavor of some sorts where you're going to have to work and do with other people, but there's something of the past, maybe you worked with other people and they really let you down. Maybe it's something about you have a health issue and you're nervous not everybody is going to understand it, or not everybody understands your connection with your feminine energy. That could be something as well with the Connect with Womb, is you're getting more into your feminine, internal, intuitive energy, and maybe not everybody around you is going to feel the same. Or there's something, maybe, I think what it is you have to overcome maybe something. That's why I'm is there some type of health issue or somebody in your life that maybe suffers with a health issue, or maybe had some type of trauma or some type of issue around the womb, around that area. It's time for you to release that and let that go. Because I would say one place where especially if you have your female reproductive system, if you have womb and a uterus and ovaries, you really hold a lot of tension and a lot of emotion in your pelvis. Again, whether that's through health issues, whether that's through some type of trauma, or whether that's just through you being raised in like a super masculine patriarchal society, therefore disconnecting you from your own anything that's deemed to be connected with femininity or female bodies, right? It kind of suppresses that. So maybe it's about you reconnecting with that energy, or you overcoming some health issue or some trauma of the past related to this area, my beautiful Geminis. But don't let it hold you back. You have a lot on your side. You have a lot of projects you're working towards, creative projects, and dealing with this, and also having people that you could trust with you as a feminine energy person, or with you as you're going through this journey to connect with yourself and connect with your either to your female organs, or and maybe working on hormonal balance if that's the case, if it's something more on the physical aspect, or it's just you coming to terms with understanding that everything society has taught you about things associated again with femininity and the female body, which don't necessarily have to be feminine or anything in that sense. Maybe you're just unlearning a lot of those things, and it's making you angry, it's putting you through a lot, but it's okay to feel those things, and I think you're going to have a moment to express what you need. But it's also about just don't let that hold you back. Don't let anybody's views on what you can do or what anybody else around you can do, maybe again if there's somebody else suffering with this issue, like don't let the past of how other people reacted hold you back. You treat them as you would want to be treated, or you treat them with the same help that you would have liked to had if maybe you went through a similar issue, or maybe you went through this issue in your past life, and that's how you have this knowledge that you can help other people or even help yourself. Or maybe it's something that through generations of your family that they deal with, again, whether it be on the more emotional side or the more physical side of actually having a physical health issue. It's really your call. It's really up to you, Gemini, which one is resonating with you more. But I definitely see that. But yeah, you have a lot of good things coming your way in terms of prosperity and connecting to these new beginnings. You're connecting with your own Gemini energy here. Just make sure you're working with the right people. Make sure the people you're working with is honoring your feminine energy as a feminine being. We all have, again, I say this in my other videos, feminine and masculine energy have nothing to do with sex, have nothing to do with gender. We all have both. So make sure everybody's honoring both aspects of you, your feminine and your masculine energy, or your internal energy of who you are internally, cultivating that, and your spiritual energy and your ability to listen to your intuition, but also your ability to maybe relay those things on the outside. I think I lost the card. But yeah, that is what's going on with our Geminis. Y'all are keeping it pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. Like I said, you just want to make sure nothing from the past and nothing in your past life is holding you back, and you're strictly, or something about the pelvic area and female reproductive systems and that area of your life and what that represents to you, or what the health issues that you're dealing with have a lot of maybe emotional hold over you. So it's time to work through some of those issues, my beautiful gems. All right, let's move on to our next air sign. Air signs, y'all just have me just wanting to like run through it right now. So my next air sign is going to be Libra, and then we have Aquarius, and that will wrap up my videos for this. Don't forget, you can check out for your sun, moon, or rising signs. You don't just have to check out for one or the other. It's what really connects with you the most. And then I'm feeling 4 from this deck. All right, okay. All right, Libras, I see y'all going through some very spiritual stuff right now. But yeah, check out the other readings for your sun, moon, or rising sign. You can book personal oracle card readings with me. Again, these are just general readings. If it doesn't fully resonate with you, if it doesn't fully connect with you, or maybe I'm just explaining a lot, because again, these are general readings that try to cover a lot about each card, or as much different things as I think it could be talking about, or I focus on a specific message I'm getting at the moment. If it's meant for somebody, it's meant for somebody. If it's not meant for you, then it's not meant for you. But you can book personal readings, and you can also book Vedic birth chart readings. Like I said, I go according to the sidereal placements. That's when I'll talk about the new moon and the sun and all these other things. I don't follow Western placements. So if you're also curious to find out your Vedic placements, you can do so by booking that with me. But let's get into our Librans, and then you know what? I'll go ahead and draw. I'm just feeling 2. Okay, so we'll rest these. We'll rest them to the side. We'll get to those after. So we're going to start with our Moonology and, of course, the Flora and Fauna deck. Right off the bat, you guys are stepping up. My Libras, as like maybe some type of spiritual leader in your community with the bison and the wolf here. You're getting a lot of knowledge, especially in the night. Maybe you're having a lot of dreams right now, Libra. But you're getting a lot of knowledge from your ancestors. You're pursuing a lot spiritually, and they're kind of just like here for you. The wolf, we can also think of like travels in pack, even though here I have the wolf alone. But I think that's just more to exemplify that sometimes on a spiritual journey, we have to be alone, maybe in the physical sense, in the physical world, but on the other side, maybe your ancestors are strongly communicating to you. Right now, like I said, we have a lot of powerful placements for our ancestors. We're going to have our new moon and our sun at the same time in Ashleisha Nakshatra, talking about karmic ties, things related to family and generations, but also just related to yourself as well, maybe exploring more esoteric spiritual knowledge. But then we also have around August 16th. Our sun entering Leo Magha Nakshatra, and we might also have Mercury going through that as well, I think fairly soon. So that's all about maybe our ancestors. And when we have Mercury up in the mix, it's about communicating with our ancestors as well. It's not just about being the king, it's also about honoring the past and what your ancestors have built to get you to be the king, the queen, whoever on the top where you are. So that's what's interesting, is you guys, I think, are getting a lot of signs from the ancestors. Even with the stars, is like, when I look at the stars like upright, it's you are allowing like little things from the outside like slowly kind of like come into you, like view yourself as the sun. Whereas when it's the other way around, it's kind of like you're not having the perspective because you're solely focused on yourself. But you guys have it upright, so it's telling me you guys are connecting to that. With the violet, we just have some modesty, some faithfulness, but also a lot of psychic awareness, as violet is even a color we associate with our higher chakras, the crown and our third eye chakra. Purples and violets, we associate with those. We even have a third eye represented here. You guys are having a huge spiritual awakening right now, and we have, you're very close to achieving your goal, but nothing is yet set in stone. So I think you guys have been working towards this for a while, but like I said, this month is going to be the perfect month for you guys to start really understanding how things in the sky and how larger things come into play into your life on a smaller scale, how the stars and the placements of the stars have influence over your life as a one single being on this planet, but also other people as well. Because I think we have to bring love into the situation with new moon and Aquarius, is because you're becoming aware of a lot, and this may be again with the new moon and all these things tied to our ancestry and family. Maybe it's because you're finding out a lot about the family, or you're trying to confront things in the family or make some innovation, make some changes. Just be gentle, be kind, understand that you're having a lot of knowledge to share with them. We have Aquarius as the water bearer. Not everybody at the same time is always ready for that. And I think that's why we have like the bison, which is kind of like the fair and just leader, sometimes sacrificing for the greater good. And then we have the violet, which is kind of like modest and chill. So it's telling me that while you're maybe, as Libra, also a sign that deals with a lot of other groups and partners and business partners, romantic partners, you do care a lot about other people, but this is something very much that you're kind of ready to do on your own. I can't say everybody around you is ready, but I think with mutable moon, nothing is yet set in stone, is like as you wrap up this cycle, as maybe you come to the full moon that we have this month, or you just wrap up the month of August, things can start to shift and change. And I think if you treat everybody with love and you kind of understand that everybody has to explore this or find this out, maybe about your family or about the groups or community that you're in, they have to deal with it on their own or find out about it on your own. Maybe it's about the network and friendships as well, with Aquarius being here. But yeah, from our Sacred Self-Care deck, which I want to just take a quick peek at, we have Take a Bath and Sweet Treat. So it's about, you know, baking something for yourself and just taking the time to connect with yourself and connecting with ingredients. I always use the cooking cards as like, because I think I have like cooking and then sweet treat. So it's more about like, I guess, if you're being strict with your diet as well, I kind of look at that. So, you know, it's okay to maybe let loose a bit, or it's okay to maybe have a sweet treat here and there, or maybe make something very sweet for yourself because you deserve it as well. And then we have Take a Bath here. And both of these cards I would associate with Cancer and also with Libra, as Libra can sometimes like to bake and have an interest in cooking and the finer things and prettier things in life. And Cancer can deal with our home, our kitchen, what we make to nurture and nourish other people. So I think that's an interesting thing playing out for y'all here. Making sure you're nourishing yourself, but also still having a little bit of fun with it, I think is the key, because you're going through all this huge spiritual stuff. So it's just asking for you to make sure you're still connecting with your physical body and you're still taking the time to rest and restore your physical and mental health as you're going through a lot. Because I feel like, while I feel like it's like kind of coming naturally and kind of like coming towards you regardless of if you're really ready or not, that could be what the trick is here, is like make sure you're taking care of the time to balance, and also make sure you're understanding that everybody is kind of on their own journey at the same time. Aquarius is an interesting card to have because it's one that connects us to other people, because it teaches us to have empathy and humanity and connect to others, but it's also about making sure you're taking care of yourself and understanding that you as an individual can represent a lot, or a group of people as well. You as a leader, right? You can represent your family, you can represent groups of people who are vulnerable, you can inspire groups of people just by one action. So I think that's what it's really asking for you to connect here, Libra. Come into your energy as a leader. I know Libra likes to be balanced and maybe likes to have somebody else on their side. So maybe that's why I do see some type of sacrifice or something. Maybe there's somebody else you work with that's kind of in a similar power position to you, but they're not exactly on the level you're at. That could be why the bison is coming up as well, where it's like you have to make some type of sacrifice, or you just have to kind of be a little modest, be a little chill this month, because not everybody, I think, is ready for exactly what you're having to say. But again, nothing is yet set in stone, and you're very close to achieving your goal. Whatever it is you're wanting to achieve spiritually, you're on the verge of it. You are on the verge of having whatever it is that you want. Make sure you're connecting with the stars. Make sure you're connecting with your ancestors and any spiritual pursuits. Connect to any dreams right now that you're having. I'm getting a big sign that maybe y'all should have like a little dream journal or something. And that's going to be something very important for my Librans. Whew. All right, so I'm going to move on to our final air sign, which is Aquarius. I feel like my air signs have just been nice, quick, and concise, and I freaking appreciate that right now. So my Aquarians, let's find out what's going on with y'all last. I'm just going to ring the bell over the decks really quickly. I just also find that gives me time to reconnect and just, you know, make sure I'm starting off every message and every group kind of separate from the last, but still kind of together and intertwined as all of our air signs and whatever. So let's see what is going on. I'm getting 3. I'm getting 4. All right, and then I'm getting 3. All right, perfect. And I happen to pick up 3. All right. Okay, Aquarius. Y'all changing up the vibes on me a bit. Not too much. We still have some good things going on here. All right, so you guys are definitely connecting with some earth energy this month on one spectrum of things. The end of a tough cycle approaches. You've been working towards a long time for paying off some debt, but then we have your dreams need a practical plan. So at the same time, as you're paying off something, as you're paying off some debt, you're getting rid of it either as karma, either as material, financial debt. You need to be prepared for what's to come next, and you need to make sure you're taking whatever savings and whatever money you do have left over from this debt that you're paying off, or whatever energy and time that you have left, and you're putting it towards your dreams and your goals. Ultimately, because I think you work towards something that was maybe just more necessary for financial reasons or material reasons, domestic reasons, just to keep the home and to keep things peaceful. Now it's like, okay, once all of that is said and done, what do you want to do and how are you planning for it? Even with our conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse kind of tells me that, like, whatever is coming to an end this month for y'all is something that maybe other people haven't wanted to see, or you haven't wanted to see in a long time, and you've kind of been resisting the change. Even with moon is telling me, like, you have some difficult changes, some difficult things coming up ahead for you. But then it's like interesting because I have the moss, I have the orange tree. So we're seeing a lot of fertility and things maybe being planted on the love aspect of things or relationships that you're working towards. You do have a value for tradition. You do have a value for the old school ways of things. And, you know, even with Capricorn here, I see that as well because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. So I kind of see that as like honoring time, honoring the past, honoring how our ancestors did things to how they're done now. I see you strongly connecting with maybe maternal ancestors a little bit more this month, especially with our new moon being in Ashleisha Nakshatra, but it also falls with our sun. So it doesn't have to be either or, but because you guys have the moon here, and you even have the moon in the moss card, it's telling me you really need to connect with the traditions of on your maternal side or connect with the ancestors on your maternal side. They have some things maybe revealed to you. Conclusions are within reach. You're having some issue about the money, about domestic life, about maybe something closely to upbringing and family. You have some questions that you've been wanting answered, and I think it's going to come out soon. I'm interested just to have a look at the whale reverse, but also let's see. These are what came out from the Sacred Self-Care deck. We have plan a vacation, chanting, and connecting with crystals. So you guys are definitely connecting with that earth energy. And then also from our whale, we have inability to heal from emotional traumas and getting hung up on the past. So that's what I'm seeing is a lot of things are ending for you guys, but I feel like they're ending around you and not like you're not going through the ending. Like it's just happening around you and you're just like, yeah, okay, things are ending, but you're not really being active in there because something is holding you back, some trauma, something from the past life, something rooted or connected maybe like mom or maternal ancestors, but you're having a lot of changes, and you're having a lot of issues honoring the life cycles of things. So whatever is ending, it's going to be tough for you to maybe let go of. Maybe you're changing careers. Maybe you're changing how you want to approach it or go after your ambitions. And again, you're reassessing your dreams now, and you're realizing maybe you didn't have or you didn't save enough time or energy or something to put towards your dreams. I think that's something that's maybe coming up, and it's maybe going to block your way of seeing how you can make it through something. I don't know if it's strongly related to marriage. Perhaps maybe all of this stuff has just been blocking you from making moves forward in your relationships and other things. Maybe you've been so focused on the physical, you haven't been focused on the material. I mean, on the spiritual and the mental and the emotional aspects of things. Even with plan a vacation, chanting, connecting with crystals is asking for you to now connect to, I think, the more spiritual side of the earth. Planning a vacation or going on vacation anywhere can teach you that, like, the world isn't just here for us to work and live and make money. Aquarius, it's not just about that. The earth has a lot of spiritual energies and a lot of things all the time going on around us that represent spirituality, represent the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Like I said, with the moon here, things are ending and wrapping up, but you're kind of letting them happen to you rather than with you, and you appreciating them and ending them and making sure everything is ending the way you want it to end. And then also with chanting here, we have Om, which is usually the mantra for like our third eye, and even this like coiling kind of going on here, we can see that as like I like to look at it similar to the Kundalini serpent of like awakening all the chakras. And like I said in the beginning or in some of the other videos, Ashlisha Nakshatra, which we'll have our new moon and our sun in around August 8th at the same time, is also can be represented by our Kundalini serpent, the awakening of all of our chakras. So you're really needing to connect with yourself as a spiritual being. Again, I feel like you were for a long time just focused on the outside and even maybe putting in that time and energy to making things look a certain way on the outside. Now it's like, does it really look that way on the inside? Are you really feeling these things on the inside with the moon? What's your intuition telling you about these situations? Are you listening to that? Are you too busy getting caught up in the past that you're not seeing the future and you're having a hard time seeing past all these things? Because even with the moss, like being caught up in tradition and old school ways of doing things, while it can be great to honor the traditions of the past, sometimes the traditions of the past also teach us how to appreciate the future and how to work towards the future. Because we'll oftentimes find that many of our ancestors didn't follow many of the things that even our grandparents and great-grandparents follow today, because they still grew up in a time of colonization and westernization of the world. So I think it's really asking for you to dig back even further to find out truly the true source of power for maybe your maternal ancestors, their true indigenous beliefs and things like that. Maybe something closely related to marriage and getting married here with the orange tree. And something about that can be beautiful. I really see you maybe working towards getting married, but there's something about emotional trauma, something in the past, something about finances that really is getting in your way here. And it's really asking for you to connect to the earth on more than just an earthly level and understand that everything holds life force, everything holds power, and you also hold a power within you, not just outside of you. And what you have going on the outside isn't only your own source of power. You have internal power. You have, our 7 chakras awakening and aligning you with your highest spiritual being or your highest spiritual enlightenment, all those things going on for you. But yeah, that's what's going on for y'all, Aquarius. I feel like, again, don't get so caught up in the material that you're not seeing things through. You're not also focusing on how you're choosing to spend your time and energy. I have a video coming out on Instagram talking about how we choose to spend our time and energy and looking at that as a form of currency as well. And how much of it do we spend that we actually can't get back. And, maybe that's what you guys are going through. You spent a lot of time on something and now you don't know how to move forward from that. But conclusions are within reach. No matter what, this cycle is going to wrap up, whether you are ready or not. I think just with this reading, you obviously have more time to prepare. And make sure, again, you're connecting to the earth with more than just for material gains. You could have to connect with the earth on a deeper spiritual level, Aquarius. So I hope this reading helped you guys out. Comment down below if this reading resonated with you. Again, you can book personal card readings. If these readings aren't always connecting with you, they're general. I try to cover as much as I can in each reading. But yeah, you can book your own general or personal reading with me by clicking the link below. If you want to find out your Vedic placements or your side wheel placements, I do Vedic birth chart readings. I might not offer them for a while after August. So if you do want to check that out, check it out sooner than later. But it will be up listed on my shop, and I'll have the link there so you guys can check it out. If it's available, you can definitely book me for that. Other than that, check out the readings for your other sun, moon, and rising signs. And don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to show some support. Thank y'all.